Okay, so today we're going to dive into something that's been making headlines.
Yeah,
And I think it's especially relevant for anyone out there prepping for those UPSC exams.
absolutely.
It's we're talking about ONDC,
ONDC,
the
yes.
Open Network for Digital Commerce.
It's a big one.
Yeah, and it's one of those things that could really be a game changer
Huge implications. Yeah,
in the Indian economy.
yeah.
So we want to make sure we break it down, make it clear what it is, why it matters, and how it all works.
And especially for the economy session of the UPSC Mains exam, I think this is
Oh, absolutely.
really crucial.
Yeah, definitely could see this popping up.
Yeah.
So I've been seeing a lot about this in the news lately. Even Prime Minister Modi has been highlighting it.
Right.
And I think it just hit a pretty major milestone, like 15 million monthly transactions.
Yeah, 15 million. That's a big signal that things are changing.
It's not just some, tech buzzword anymore.
Yeah.
This is like actually happening.
It's gaining traction for sure.
Yeah, so to really get why this is such a big deal, we need to kind of zoom out and look at the context.
Absolutely.
Right now, India's e-commerce scene is, pretty much dominated by a few big players.
Right, a handful of giants.
Yeah, exactly. And ONDC is trying to shake things up a bit.
Level the playing field.
Yeah, make it more inclusive so smaller businesses actually have a chance.
More competition too.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is good for everyone in the end.
So for our listeners who might not be totally familiar with this whole thing, let's just start with the basics.
Sure.
What exactly is ONDC?
So imagine a digital marketplace
Okay.
where anyone can participate,
Okay.
no matter how big or small they are.
Right.
That's the idea behind ONDC.
Okay.
It's designed to be open, inclusive, and interoperable.
Yeah.
Like a digital infrastructure, really. Launched by the Indian government back in April 2022.
Okay.
And the main goal is to democratize e-commerce, make it accessible to everyone.
Okay, democratize e-commerce. I like that. But, what does that actually mean in terms of like concrete goals? What are they trying to achieve?
So there are 4 key objectives with ONDC democratization of commerce we talked about.
Right.
Cost efficiency, market expansion, and consumer empowerment.
Okay.
So they want to lower the fees that sellers have to pay,
Right.
which means lower prices for consumers.
Makes sense.
They also want to expand the reach of products so people in different regions have more options.
Okay, so it's about like more choice and affordability for everyone.
Exactly.
A win-win situation.
I mean, on the surface, it sounds pretty amazing.
Right.
But how does it actually work? Like, what makes it so different from the Amazons and Flipkarts of the world?
So the key here is the concept of open protocols.
Okay.
Think about email for a second.
Okay.
You can send an email from Gmail to someone using Yahoo
Right.
because they both follow the same protocol.
Gotcha.
ONDC applies that same principle to e-commerce.
So it's like a common language that everyone can understand.
Okay. So imagine you're on a buyer app.
Okay.
Maybe it's developed by a small startup.
Yeah.
And you want to buy some spices from a seller who's using a big, well-established seller app.
Right.
ONDC allows those two different apps to communicate seamlessly,
Okay.
process the order, and even arrange the delivery through a separate logistics provider.
So it's all connected.
Yeah, it's all about breaking down those walls between platforms.
Yeah, and creating a more interconnected ecosystem.
Exactly.
When I was researching ONDC, I kept coming across this term role segregation.
Right.
What does that mean exactly?
So it's about defining clear roles within the ONDC network.
Okay.
You've got buyer apps where consumers discover and buy products.
Okay.
Then you have seller apps for businesses to list and manage their inventory.
Right.
And, of course, logistics providers to handle the delivery.
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, you've got tech enablers who provide the IT infrastructure.
So everyone has their own specific job to do.
Yeah. Each player has a distinct function,
But they all work together.
like a well-oiled machine.
Exactly.
So if the current e-commerce landscape is like, a bunch of separate kingdoms,
Yeah.
ONDC is trying to create like a unified empire.
With specialized roles.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the impact of all this.
Yeah.
We know that MSMEs are like the backbone of the Indian economy.
Right. A huge part of it.
So what does ONDC mean for them?
Well, for a lot of MSMEs, this could be a game changer. Think about a small business in a rural town.
Yeah.
Suddenly they have access to customers all over the country
Right.
without having to pay those crazy platform fees.
Yeah.
ONDC helps them expand their visibility, reduce costs, and compete on a level playing field.
Okay. And I've heard they're also focusing on inclusivity,
Absolutely.
like making sure everyone has a chance to participate.
There are specific initiatives like the MSME team scheme,
Right.
which provides training and support for MSMEs led by women and those from scheduled castes and scheduled tribes.
Oh, that's really good to hear. I think some people might be a little skeptical, though.
Sure.
We've seen these big government initiatives before that haven't always, panned out.
Right.
So what makes ONDC different? Is it actually living up to the hype?
I think the proof is in the pudding, as they say.
Yeah.
It's not just about the transaction numbers, although those are impressive.
Yeah.
They've also conducted successful pilots in major cities like Bengaluru and Delhi.
Yeah.
And even the Department of Food and Public Distribution is on board.
Really?
They've launched a pilot using ONDC for fair price shops in Himachal Pradesh.
Wow.
What's interesting is that it's not just food and groceries anymore.
Right.
We're seeing sectors like mobility, fashion, health, even B2B jumping on the ONDC bandwagon.
Yeah, it seems like it's expanding pretty rapidly.
It is covering over 616 cities across India.
That's incredible. So what do you think is driving this adoption?
Well, for one, they're really proactive about raising awareness and making information accessible.
Okay.
They've been doing workshops with industry associations like FICCI to educate small businesses.
Right.
They're also working with Pashini.
Yeah, which is a government initiative focused on Indic languages
Okay.
to make e-commerce accessible in different local languages.
Wow. So they're really thinking about inclusivity on multiple levels.
Even something as simple as the ONDC Sahayak WhatsApp bot,
Right.
which provides information in 5 languages,
Okay.
shows their commitment to breaking down barriers.
It's amazing how they're using technology to make things more accessible for everyone.
Yeah, technology can be a great equalizer.
And this impact is definitely not going unnoticed.
Right.
ONDC has been winning some pretty prestigious awards,
Absolutely.
which I think really speaks to their success.
It shows how they're being recognized both nationally and globally.
Yeah.
For example, they won the Application of Emerging Technologies for Providing Citizen-Centric Services Award
Wow.
at the National Awards for E-Governance in 2024.
Okay.
Then there's the Startup of the Year Award from the 14th India Digital Awards.
Yeah.
And in 2023, they won FinTech Company of the Year at the Global FinTech Awards. So they're really making waves.
They are.
So to kind of wrap things up for our listeners, especially those who are preparing for the UPSC exams,
Right.
ONDC is a really significant initiative with the potential to transform India's e-commerce landscape.
Absolutely.
It's not just about technology, it's about inclusivity, competition, and innovation.
It's about creating a more equitable and accessible digital economy.
Yeah, and this is something that could definitely come up in your general studies papers.
For sure.
So understanding the nuances of ONDC is really crucial.
Definitely.
And as you continue your UPSC journey, here's a thought-provoking question to consider.
Okay.
Could ONDC serve as a model for other countries
Interesting.
who are looking to build more inclusive and accessible digital economies themselves?
It's a good question.
And what challenges might ONDC face as it continues to grow and evolve?
Lots to think about there.
Definitely. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah, let us know in the comments.
And if you found this deep dive into ONDC helpful,
Hopefully you did.
please don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful analysis.
And best of luck with your UPSC preparations.
Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and good luck.